Hello everyone, my name is Sony and this is my comparison video between Sony Xperia C5 Ultra and Sony Xperia M5. Since the last time when I compared Sony Xperia C4 and Sony Xperia M4 Aqua, almost everything except the physical appearance have been changed. For example, now M5 is the most powerful between the two phones. M5 has the better back camera now, and M5 also has the better build quality, and as a consequence of that, it is now also the most expensive phone between the two. Just like the last time, the M series phone, which is this one, is still a waterproof phone, and the C series phone, which is this one, still have a front facing flash. Now this one has 2 days battery life, and this one you can say also have 2 days battery life on paper at least, but in reality this one on normal use does really have 2 days battery life, but this one doesn't. Screen wise, now they are both 1080p displays. They are both IPS displays by the way, so very good viewing angles. They are both very slim phones still, as you can see. C5 Ultra is slightly thicker, and the price difference is also a lot more between both these phones than the previous two phones. So anyway, now in the settings, first let me show you that both these phones are at full brightness and none of these have the adaptive brightness on. As you can see, adaptive brightness is off. The color saturation, although they both have IPS LCD displays of full HD resolution, the color saturation of both the phones is a bit different. As you can see, this one's white has a little yellowish tint to it. As you can see, it looks a little more warm. This one's white color is like pure white, a little more closer to the bluish tint. Both have image enhancement off, by the way. Storage wise, they both come with 16 GB of total space, out of which you will get around 10 GB of free, and they both support micro SD cards up to 200 GB, and they both also support USB OTG. This one directly, as you can see, USB storage connected, while this one not so directly. In this phone, to connect the USB device, you have to after connecting the device or before connecting the device, you have to click on this first to connect the device on this phone. Otherwise it won't detect the pen drive or any other device, as you can see. So they both support USB OTG. They both also have the option of move to HD, and this phone doesn't have a memory card in currently, so that's why it's not showing the option, but they both support move to HD, but you cannot install games or apps on the memory card. So now for the camera, well, a Sony Xperia M5 comes with a 21 megapixel rear facing camera with a hybrid autofocus and touch to focus both, and this one C5 Ultra comes with 13 megapixel rear facing camera with autofocus and touch to focus both. Now I don't know if you can see or not, but is it because of the big screen of C5 Ultra, but you can clearly see the noise in C5 Ultra's screen currently. This is the noise that in low light conditions becomes clearly visible in the phones in the background and makes the photo looks a little bit blurry, and those tiny little green or red, very tiny little green or red distortion like things in the photos, this is that noise, and in M5 it is not visible at all. Now both the phones are at superior auto currently, and this one is at 16 megapixel resolution currently, and this one is at full 13 megapixel resolution. Now let's take a photo to show you the quality. Now let's take one with Xperia C5 Ultra. Here are both the photos and they both look pretty good as you can see, and C5 Ultra's photo looks a little better because of its big screen, and the photo also looks a bit bright on C5 Ultra. On M5 the photo looks a little more naturalistic and full of details, and it looks very detailed even when you zoom in completely. So that's the difference between both these cameras. Although they are both very good cameras, above 20,000 or 25,000 rupees, there are hardly any camera phones that have bad camera qualities nowadays. Comparison wise, let me also tell you that the Xperia M5 comes with features like 4K video and slow motion video, and also it can take photos at full 21 megapixel resolution. So quality wise they might be a little similar, but features wise M5 wins. Now for the front camera, well, C5 Ultra, according to my sister who is using C5 Ultra as her own phone, and she used M5 too and just tested its front camera to be exact, and she didn't like it. She said it isn't that bright and it's pretty dark. So I don't see that much difference. Between both the phone's front camera, but she does, and she says that M5's front camera is not comparable to the C5 Ultra's camera. I would say they are both pretty similar, but let's just take a photo and see. So here's the photo. Here's my hand. What she says might be true because C5 Ultra is in fact a selfie centered phone. It is made to take selfies, while M5 has more focus towards the back camera, not the front camera. That's why it doesn't even have a front facing flash. But anyway, let's check both the photos. Here are both the photos, and as you can see, there's a lot of difference between both the images. C5 really did take a pretty natural and full of light photo, while M5's front camera didn't take that good of a photo, and the photo looks a bit darker in the M5 because of its details wise. As you can see in the C5 Ultra's photo, you can even see the finer lines in my hand, while on the M5 the lines become a lot blurry. I guess she's right about the front camera. When I told her about these two phones, she first wanted the M5 and didn't want the C5 Ultra because when I told her about the 21 megapixel camera and all the features of this phone. But when I showed her this phone and she used its front camera, she took this phone, and after that when I bought M5, she tested this phone too and she didn't like it at all. She said, now I will keep this one. That doesn't make this a bad front camera. It's just that it is not as good as C5 Ultra's front camera. So front camera wise, just like it is supposed to be, the C5 Ultra wins since it is a selfie phone, and in back camera the M5 wins because of its quality and all extra features. So first I'm going to show you full device info of both the phones, and then I will run the test. Now as you can see in the storage option, it comes with M5 comes with 3 GB of RAM, and the C5 Ultra comes with 2 GB of RAM, out of which in total you get around 1687 MB or 1.6 GB on C5 Ultra and 2.6 GB on Sony Xperia M5. And finally the RAM which you will get to use is around 500 MB on C5 Ultra and around 1 GB on M5. Now CPU of both the phones, C5 Ultra comes with MediaTek MT6752 and Sony Xperia M5 comes with MediaTek 6795 chipset. They both have 8-core Cortex A53 processor. C5 Ultra is clocked at around 1.7 GHz while Sony Xperia M5's processor is clocked at around 2 GHz. Here's the GPU information. C5 Ultra comes with Mali T760 and Sony Xperia M5 comes with PowerVR Rogue G6200, which is a very powerful GPU. And here's the resolution of both the devices, Full HD and Full HD. They both have the same pixel density, as you can see, 480 and 480. Multi-touch, they both support up to 10 fingers multi-touch. But I must say the quality of Xperia M5's multi-touch is way better than the C5. It has a very responsive touch screen, while C5 Ultra could be a little hit and miss, sometimes, only very occasionally. Camera I already showed you. I didn't tell you about the resolution, by the way. The front camera resolution of C5 Ultra is 13 megapixels, similar to its back camera resolution. And the front camera resolution of M5 is also 13 megapixels. Battery level currently and temperature of both the phones currently. This one is slightly hotter than the M5. OS both has the Android 5.0 Lollipop, NFC, and here are all the sensors. M5 comes with all of these sensors, while C5 Ultra comes with all of these sensors. They both don't have the gyroscope. So anyway, let's run the test now. And even though Sony Xperia M5 has a more powerful chipset than the C5 Ultra, it is still going to score less for some unknown reasons. But anyway, let's run the test now. So here are the results, and C5 Ultra scored around 41,357 and Xperia M5 scored even less than last time I tested it. It scored 32,163. Now I'm sure if I test it again they both will score higher than this. M5 but still couldn't score more than 40,000. No matter how many times I tried, and C5 Ultra the highest score is around 46,000. But that's not the point. The point is M5 should not score less than C5 Ultra because its chipset is theoretically and practically more powerful than the C5 Ultra, the MT6752. I'm not going to run GTA San Andreas on these phones because both of these phones can run GTA San Andreas at maximum settings at Full HD resolution. Instead, I'm going to run Asphalt 8 at high settings. So here they are, as you can see, and in the display settings, the visual quality is set at high, same as in the M5, as you can see, high. So let's first play on C5 Ultra. So as you can see, the game is not that smooth and it is running with a slight bit of delay or lag. But it's nothing major and it's still playable. Now let's see on the M5. On the M5, as you can see, game is running very smoothly without any issues, without any lags or frame skipping also. And also with all the graphic effects like like smoke and dust particle effect and also the motion blur. The Sony Xperia M5 can play any graphic intensive game available on the Play Store currently at full HD resolution and maximum settings. So in gaming, the M5 is more powerful than the C5 Ultra and hence better than the C5 Ultra, and also proving the AnTuTu benchmark kind of wrong, because according to AnTuTu benchmark, Sony Xperia M5 is supposed to be slower or weaker in performance than the Xperia C5 Ultra. Now let's check the browser of both these phones. They are both at the same Wi-Fi network, by the way. So 1, 2, 3. Sony Xperia M5 started first, although they both have same dual band Wi-Fi and they are both very fast in terms of internet connectivity. So as you can see, they both loaded pretty quickly and they both are still loading. And still loading. And C5 Ultra is done and M5 is done immediately after. So anyway, so let's open a link now. So they both can play in browser video without any problems, as you can see, and they shouldn't have any problems. Now let's check the pinch to zoom in both the phones. Now I must say that as you can see, the pinch to zoom is working fine without any issues, and it's working buttery smooth on Sony Xperia M5. I must say that web browsing, you will find that it's pretty good on both the phones, but ultimately the Sony Xperia M5 is better in web browsing. Why? Well, there are two reasons. First is Sony Xperia M5's more powerful chipset, and the second is more RAM. The more the RAM, the more tabs you can open, and also there will be no checkerboard or anything if the page is big and full of images and all that. Now for the music quality, let's first play a song on the Sony Xperia C5 Ultra. Sony Xperia C5 Ultra has a speaker in the front right down here, by the way, and let's play a song on Xperia M5 now. Now Xperia M5 is a bit lower in volume than the C5 Ultra, but is better in quality, because at the highest volume possible, the C5 Ultra's speaker is very loud, but it distorts a little. But M5's speaker never distorts and is of very good quality, so that's a good thing. But the loudest speaker is the Xperia C5 Ultra's speaker. And in-ear music quality, well, they both have pretty good in-ear music quality, but the Sony Xperia M5's music quality in earphones is very good, by the way. It's better than C5 Ultra and it's better than any Sony phones that I have tested. Another thing in multimedia capabilities of both these phones, Sony Xperia C5 Ultra cannot play a 4K resolution video in its default player. As you can see, it will say it's only playing the audio and not playing the video. Although it can play 4K resolution video in MX player, but not very smoothly. It will be choppy, as you can see in my review video of Sony Xperia C5 Ultra. All in all, its chipset, it's not really capable of playing 4K resolution video, while Sony Xperia M5 is perfectly capable of playing a 4K resolution video. So even in multimedia capabilities, Sony Xperia M5 is more powerful than the Xperia C5 Ultra. Now about the battery life of both these phones. Well, the C5 Ultra's battery is around 2900 mAh and the Xperia M5's battery is 600 mAh. So Xperia C5 really have a 2-day battery life if you use it moderately. Sony Xperia M5 does not have a 2-day battery life in reality, unless you use it under stamina mode. It loses battery very quickly because of its powerful chipset. So in battery life, I would say Xperia C5 Ultra is overall better than Xperia M5. I've been using the phones for about more than an hour now, and let's see the temperature. Well, M5 is currently at 40 degrees Celsius, as you can see. Is its battery temperature, by the way, and C5 Ultra is also at 40 degrees Celsius. Let's see the processor's temperature. Well, the highest is 52 degrees Celsius. Sorry, 60 degrees Celsius, as you can see. Let's see the highest on M5. Well, highest on M5 is 52 degrees Celsius right here. So in terms of hotness, you can say Xperia C5 Ultra is more hot literally than M5. Build quality wise, well, Xperia M5 has a premium flagship build quality, while C5 Ultra a very good build quality for a mid-range phone, but it's not as good as Xperia M5's build quality. Size is a very subjective matter, so I cannot compare these two phones and tell which one is better. Like some people prefer a screen this big, some people prefer screen size this big. I prefer screen size this big because it's easily manageable with one hand and also is easily pocketable. A screen this big also has its perks like very good multimedia and gaming experience. So like I said, it's very subjective, but what I can tell you is feature wise, Xperia M5 except for the battery and price and also the front camera is overall better than the Xperia C5 Ultra. I hope this video will help you in deciding between both these two phones, and if it does, please like and subscribe to my channel, and also thanks for watching.